now we need to deepen our understanding of eXp's journey and this strategic vision for the future. And it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage the key architects of our global strategy. So please join me very shortly in welcoming our CEO, Leo Pareja, Chief Growth Officer Michael Valdes, give him a second, and our Chief Marketing Officer Wendy Forsythe, and they'll be leading discussion on the power of eXp, a session filled with insights on our successes, the challenges we face, and the vast opportunities ahead, plus they will take some questions live. So start thinking about what you want to ask our leadership team, and this is your time, guys. So these guys are sat here, so this is your opportunity now. If you've got questions, now's your time. So please join me in welcoming Leo, Michael, Wendy, as they take the stage.
You did a great job. It's not easy to wrangle us, Alex, so well done.
That's very true. As the newest member of this trio, I can attest that wrangling them is not easy. So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for the warm welcome. I am thrilled to be part of the team and to be joining you all here at eXp. And I get to have a bit of a conversation with these guys up here for a few minutes, and then we're going to turn it over to you to ask us whatever questions that you might have.
So be nice.
Think of those questions. But I'm going to start with a question, and it's that question that I think everyone in the real estate industry, no matter where you practice globally, has to answer probably almost every single day. And here's that question. Do you guys know what I'm going to ask?
I don't.
All right, gentlemen. Here's the question.
Yeah.
How's the market? Isn't that the question, right?
You can go first.
So my biggest aha is, you grew up selling real estate in one market, and I grew up in the DC area, and I sold real estate in about a 20-mile radius. And when I started going to conferences and meeting people in other parts of the country, I started to have this aha, but the real aha has been in the last week, where it's the same situation everywhere. Yeah. Right? Are interest rates higher than before the pandemic in your market? Yes. Is there a shortage of inventory in your market? Yes. Is there a lot of competition in your market? Yes. We're all the same. and the real aha is we help families make the largest financial decision of their lives. It's where they raise their family, it's where they build their memories and their dreams, and you are that expert guide. And I always give the analogy of the Sherpa. In today's world, you can get on YouTube and get ready to climb any mountain by watching videos on what to eat, how to train, what gear to buy. But when you're about to climb Mount Everest, I highly suggest you hire that local expert who's done it a whole bunch of times and can hold your hand and make sure you don't fall off the side of the mountain. Because that local expert can tell you if it's a big deal or not a big deal, or if we should go find a new property. And so that's the biggest aha I've had. Sometimes I think about how do we serve global. They have the exact same challenges. And to Glenn's point, you guys are probably ahead of us in North America because we rely on these portals. And you guys are actually pioneering and building social brands to drive the leads directly to you. So I'm excited to be here because I'm going home with a lot of takeaways and a lot of ideas on, I like science experiments as well, as you can tell. So yeah. I got lots in my mind.
I have that similar aha from a marketing and branding perspective, right? Is that how we build the brand, how you build your personal brands, how we build the eXp brand, the strategies we use from a marketing perspective apply globally. So we can make adjustments for your local market, but we can leverage across the world, and that's a pretty exciting aha to have.
Answering that question on a more macro global scale, all of you are CEOs of your own business. Whether you are an independent solo agent, whether you are a team leader, or whether you are an owner of an independent brokerage that might have joined our platform. So you're the CEO of your own company. By joining the eXp platform, you became a global company. You actually have a larger scale, a larger net. Our only job as those that are practitioners is to bring buyer and seller together. The price is determined by the market. We have nothing to do with that. And so when you start looking at this on a global scale, What Leo was talking about earlier, that we had an agent in Madrid that only sells Miami properties. When you start thinking about Denise sitting in the second row that is from the US and has an incredible business in Dubai, when you start looking at where our global lens is, you have the power to be able to have a global business. So when you ask how's the market, I say you have a global market. So you have the power of diversification in your portfolio. That is a gift that you guys in this audience have and that you should really take advantage of.
Yes. So you just all became global CEOs.
That's absolutely right.
Are you excited about that?
But really, you know, it's not just a hashtag or a catchphrase. It truly is. You are global CEOs. The moment you embrace that truly, that's when you have the power of what this platform is across 24 countries and counting.
And why don't you tell them a little bit about the support team that they have as global CEOs?
Well, absolutely. Look, you guys already met Felix, you met Megan, but we have an incredible team here. We have Noor, who has been so amazing, who is in the back of the room. Make sure you meet her because she's a powerhouse. And she just joined our global team along with Sarah on the marketing side. This is your dedicated focus to marketing, and that is so important because, as Wendy said, this is one brand. We are one brand across the world. That's what's so important to all of you. And the fact that now all of our international efforts all roll up under Wendy's team, under the focus of Noor and Sarah, is so important for you guys as well. Jesse Hill, some of you might have already dealt with as part of our finance team on the global side. Sometimes we have some great opportunities, and we've spoken to a few of you, and I know that there's some brokerages. I know there's a brokerage from France that joined us that's here in this room, and we start going through the financial sort of model for those of you that have an interest in joining our international platform. And Ilaria Profumi, who is in the audience, our EMEA Regional Director, who has been an integral part of our growth here, especially in Europe.
That's awesome. A powerhouse team for sure. So when we think of our global footprint, you know, Leo, when you think of leveraging that footprint, what are your thoughts around that?
So we live in a global world now, right? As technology advances, I see technology as a force multiplier to streamline things, right? We no longer are constrained by having to buy local newspaper ads. And the three of us actually did that. Half the people in the audience don't know about that. And now you are a broadcasting station, a media company. You know, we have some folks who are really good at it, who are live streaming almost everything we're doing. And
my phone keeps buzzing. So thank you, all of you.
To me, again, like the downside of when I come to eXpCons, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go sell houses instead. That sounds way more fun. But right now, I would be building a business that funds your lifestyle, not only in income, but also in what you want to do. Right? Like, if you like vacationing in another part of the world, start selling properties there and give yourself a financial reason to go hang out there 4 or 5 months of the year.
Hearing lots of good stuff about Dubai.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I think half of us are moving to Dubai.
Yeah, it's sort of like, that's my panel a little later. So that's sort of like, we'll talk about it for sure. And everything already. So EXP Luxury Global? Yes? No? Yeah? Okay. So here's what's exciting about this. This is what I love. So I spent 15 years of my career mostly with the Sotheby's brand and opened up 70 countries for them. And when you start looking at
You should be moving a little faster here. Then,
well,
right?
I know, right? It's sort of like, well, it's been like, come on. It took 15 years for 70. Like, the math actually works out. I'm actually ahead of the curve.
We got to beat
I'm actually
70,
ahead of the curve.
though.
I know. We're not going yet. And so the idea is that luxury is important around the world. I mean, when we start looking at some of these places where we're at already, when you start thinking about Spain, when you start thinking about here in Portugal, in Cascais, how many of you that are not from Portugal have visited Cascais yet? Oh, see, look at this. Yes, I know.
I might spend the summer there.
You had a great time, right? There's some incredible properties that are there. We've mentioned Dubai. Do you know that our very first sale in Dubai was $10.5 million? Our very first sale when we opened Dubai, and it was done by someone sitting in the front row here. And so what's that?
An agent who I closed it with, who was not working with eXp, is now working with eXp.
Oh! There we are. With the eXp Luxury, I'm hoping, yes. So that's the power of what this is, and I really wanted to make sure that us as the largest independent, when you had almost 90,000 agents across 24 countries, that is a powerful platform. It is a powerful tool for you to sit in front of a seller and say, I can put your property in front of 90,000 people across 24 countries. No other brand, by the way, can say that. Because as we said before, as a franchise model with our competitors, it is a fragmented process. And unless you have a relationship with that other franchise owner, your property is not going anywhere. And so when you have a dedicated focus on eXp luxury agents, it's because we have a qualification process. It is not just someone who wants to say, I want to be luxury, and you stick a logo on your property. Nope, you have to qualify for that. And we want to make sure that we kept the integrity of what that program is. And this is exceptional for what we have and what we're going to continue to build.
It certainly is. And when we think of exceptional, you are a group of exceptional professionals. And, when we think of sort of the real estate entrepreneur and saying that we are an agent-centric company, recognizing all of you is an important part of that. So, Leo, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So the first thing I'll point out is all three of us have active real estate licenses. That's unheard of especially the publicly traded companies. And we didn't just pass the test for fun. We actually all sold real estate at scale. In 2010, I was the #1 KW team in the world, and I was obsessed with systems and processes. And that's one of my focuses. Michael and I have taken our show on the road now globally. And we have masterminds. Who attended our private invite-only top producer mastermind yesterday?
Okay.
So we invite top producers based on production, and we do it quarterly in different parts of the world. Who got a personalized video from me when they made the top producer list? That was me for real. We are working on AI Leo because I want to be able to scale
we'll talk
that.
about AI Leo later.
But that was 4 hours on a Sunday. But no, that's how much top producers mean to us. Someone said it earlier, and it's very important. There is no rev share without rev. So please sell lots of houses. And we want to spend time teaching you how to sell lots of houses. And the most attractive thing we've seen scale is top producers. People want to learn the business. It's an aspirational business. So being a top producer is probably the best way to recruit. A lot of folks have been saying, teach me how to build a downline. I say, you guys want to hear the best script to recruit, to build your rev share? Last year I did X, 5 million, and this year I did 10 million. Would you like me to show you how? Period. X to Y. Make it consumable. I did 200,000 in GCI, I did 400,000 in GCI. Let me show you how. That's why people join companies. They join people who can teach them how to further their career. We are here to provide for our families. Don't forget that. So that's what I've seen work across the globe.
Yeah, and that abundance mindset, right, that you all have, that willingness to share. Leo, I think it was somebody asked you just recently in our travels of like, well, why would we tell everyone like all our systems, everything that we do? And I loved your answer to that question.
I have lots of answers, but the one that comes to mind right now is, have you guys heard of R&D? You know what it means? No, rip off and duplicate. We're not science. We're not doing science experiments or building AI. We sell real estate. If you see something that works, compress time, right? In the top producer mastermind, one of the topics is, should I build a team? And a lot of the ahas is people like, no, I need to go focus on making my business more profitable, bigger, scale it. That's the beauty of masterminding, when you can save yourself 2 years of banging your head against the wall and trying something to find out you didn't want to do it. So I don't know what other answer I gave on the road, but that's the one that came to mind right now.
But you know what's interesting, to that point, there were over 30 people in that room that were the best of the best across the world. And they were sharing
Yes.
with one another so openly, breaking up into groups, coming in and then presenting to the group what their findings were. I thought it was really interesting to understand that there was a lot of similarities within all of the groups, and that was one of my aha moments.
Other than Dubai doesn't pay taxes.
Right, except, well, we heard that a lot. We heard that a lot. Yeah, there's a few places. And so that's what's really interesting is that sort of collaboration, that collaborative feel for us. And that is so different than anyone else.
Yes.
And that's really what the power of this brand truly is for all of you as well.
Yeah, licensing laws may be different country to country. There might be some difference in portals and listings and that sort of thing, but the fundamentals of the business, right? The systems, the relationships, the opportunity to leverage, like that, we saw that common theme in
100%.
every conversation.
That's right.
We did. Should we open this up and take some questions?
Let's do it.
Are you guys ready to ask us some questions? All right.
Two people are.
This is your chance. Yeah.
All right, so the two
We're
people
getting
that
a little
screamed.
nervous
Yeah.
up here.
Okay.
So we have, is Andrea?
Come up here with the mic, that would be great too, so we can see you.
Don't be shy, you guys.
Don't be shy.
This is your chance to,
righty.
tell us your
Right here.
name and where you're
Right,
from.
who's got the mic? Right here in front.
Kathy, here in the front.
But someone's got the mic.
Give her the mic.
Right here.
I'm Kathy Burns. I'm from North Carolina, and I'm really interested in this LEAD program that you just announced today. And so is it organized for the whole globe? I mean, we can.
Which program? Because we mentioned a lot of them.
You talking about
Global
home?
referral.
Global referral program, or are you talking about home hunters? What are we talking about?
Global referral.
Global referral?
Global referral.
Okay,
Perfect.
Yep.
So what we did was streamline the referral process. So right now, to find an agent internationally, even just the forms and filling it out and how to send it is complicated. It was the same in the US. We streamlined it where you can just look up a name and instantly generate all the paperwork. So you still need to identify what country or where you want to send it, but the sending process just went from 30 minutes to 30 seconds.
Okay, so it's strictly the sending process. Is the process of being able to do leads among each other simplified? Because there's a lot of leads exchanged. Is the process simplified in the sense that I can, if I just want to give a lead and I don't know who I want to give it to, and I want to just put it out there that I've got a buyer in Dubai, and they want to have $10 million
getting a lot of love
property.
I know, a lot of
And my point being, whether it's in Hoboken, USA or Dubai, can I just have a simplified system where I put in, here's my need, and all the people that are related to that territory would be notified that Kathy's got a lead, and they would reach out.
That's a good question. We have it informally through Workplace, but we have not built a matching tool because, again, from where I sit, people get their feelings hurt of like, how does it get selected? So it has to be pretty programmatic. But I have been thinking about that, and potentially, if you guys want to do it right now, the easiest way to do is call Revenos, Dawn Cacciatore, and she can match anybody.
Okay.
Because that's what we do for institutional customers. But we have not programmatically built that.
And if you also go to International Conversations, which is a workplace group, all of our country leaders are pinned to the top of that conversation. You'll have all of their contact information. If there's a particular country, I would involve the country leader and talk about what your needs are, but there's a one-stop shop for that, and then they can have an honest conversation with you as to who the best fit would be for whatever opportunity exists.
Okay, so the answer is Dawn in the US, country leader globally.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Sure
you,
thing.
Kathy. We got a hand right behind you. I can't
Right over here, yeah.
I can't see past that. There we go.
Yes, my name is Daniel. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Glad to be here. So, like Dennis, I met him at the airport from Italy. And if he wants to build a team in Texas, and I want to connect and help him, and the same thing, I want to build in Italy. How can we have a platform for leaders for growth? Because we need other leaders to help our agents in those markets. So besides the production side, we want to connect with more leaders so we can create that collaborations between the company. Because if I'm building in France or I'm building in Spain, I need agents to help my team members in my organization as they continue to grow if I don't find that leader. Because if I find a leader, that's okay because they're going to grow.
Sure.
But if I find a random agent that connects, then I need that other leader to help me and the rest of the team grow.
So Daniel, remember, as eXpGlobal.partners is the website, that QR code that was up with Megan and Felix's presentation. That's really the one-stop shop for you. And then as you start connecting with these other leaders, remember, it's also what you bring to them. You are such an expert in commercial real estate, for example, where you're a rock star. And if you were to sort of jump on an Italy call, on one of their sales calls, and teach a commercial workshop, people would just be, remember, you don't want to recruit, you want to attract. You have a lot to offer.
Senor wants to join us.
Senor.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is what our meetings look like.
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
are getting like a real insight into that.
I thought I retired, but
Can we get a handheld for Glenn?
so some of you may know when you attract between Europe and where are the
Per region.
per region. So when you attract agents outside of your region, we actually have in there what's called a regional buffer. And the regional buffer is actually designed, and I just met with the dev team 2 days ago to update this. But what we're going, and we may announce this at eXpCon in Miami, but what they're developing is the ability to bring in a in-country leader to take that position to support your agents in that country or region. And so if somebody in Dubai sponsors somebody in the US, you're not going to know how to connect people. But if you also connect with a good leader in the US, you can actually bring them in to support your agent, and both of you will benefit from the rev share from that agent. So basically,
But more to come on that.
yeah, and there's some nuances to it.
Yeah.
But the upline, your upline still gets the benefits. That agent gets the benefits of that rev share group, but their upline doesn't. So it's kind of there's some nuances to how it all comes together, but you can bring in a in-country leader to support your agent.
Keep it.
I think we had a hand here near the front.
No.
No? Okay.
Yes.
Hey guys, Devin Doherty, Orange County, California.
Woo!
Thank you so much. What a superstar panel.
We found out we're neighbors, actually,
Oh, really?
by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
I love at the opening party you
We
found out?
live a couple miles from each other.
I make
funny.
wine, so hit me up for a wine opener and wine in Orange County. And the real question I have for you, or the most important question I have for you, is what is the limiting belief that you know that we all have in this room about where we're going to be 3 years from now that you would like to help us unlimit? And I'd like each one of you to answer that question.
Love it. Want me to start?
Sure.
That we don't dream big enough, right? Like whatever that dream is 3 years from now, double it. Like however you're quantifying it, like we all need to dream bigger. And I'm going to give a shout out particularly to my female colleagues in the room, because we really don't do this, right? We don't dream big enough. I was once criticized in my career for being ambitious. I was told I was too ambitious. And as I've, matured, I would say, tap into that ambition, ladies, because the sky is the limit.
I love that. It's so true. Yeah. I'm going to just piggyback on the idea of...
Oh, you can't piggyback.
of dreaming big.
Dreaming big.
It's the idea of, I spoke to an agent here at the beginning of the session from France who said that he had 125 people in his organization. I said, it's amazing. I said, what's the next goal? He says, add another 0 to that. And I said, how about 2? And that's really the conversation, right? It's sort of like, how big do you want to dream? And be the person that you want to be in the future. You need to visualize your future in order to step into it. So allow yourself to dream big. Figure out what you have to do now to step into that future self of yours. Because it's in everyone's ability to create the future that they want to live in.
There's a quote that comes to mind, which is, we grossly overestimate what we can do in a year, but grossly underestimate what we can do in a decade. So think in longer terms, but control your activity.
Yeah, no, I think everything's set up here, but the reality is that we're all on a continuum. I think about the idea that you can think smaller or you can think bigger from wherever you're at on that continuum. Some of you have done extremely well in your careers, and you can still think bigger. And so just think about the fact that, it's a journey. And then Leo mentioned the term compressing time. I'm a hacker. In fact, I've got kind of this idea of a book title which is called Hacking Success. And what that basically means is finding shortcuts, legal shortcuts, where nobody dies and nobody goes to jail.
That's a good one.
And then just go for it. So that's it.
That's awesome.
Probably
All right, we got time for one, maybe two more questions. I think at the back they've been waiting.
Hi, Danielle Necco, Santa Barbara, California. I finished my training right before I left on this trip, and I'm on the waiting list for my exam in California in July or August.
Awesome.
And I have another 4 weeks here and in the UK, and I'm spending 3 days with someone in Sintra helping him. I'm also a photographer, helping him create a tourist guide for that area. And I'm just wondering, what would your advice be? How should I be talking about the opportunity to make the most of me, like staying with locals in these countries and on my trip?
Well, first of all, congratulations. Yes. And
Yeah, really.
welcome to real estate.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I think it's unbelievable for you. What's your first name? I'm sorry?
Danielle.
Danielle, it's amazing that you're not even licensed and you're at your first conference.
yes.
That
yes. Let's
shows
give her a
so
round of
much.
applause.
It truly is that. You already saw opportunity. You invested in yourself. You're here for 4 weeks, getting your network together. You have a global mindset. I have absolutely nothing to fear with your success because you already know you will be.
That's right.
It's amazing. Your focus is already incredible.
And Danielle, to answer your question, or try to answer your question, like, just tell your real estate story.
That's it.
Like, exactly what you're doing now, do that to everyone you encounter. Like,
Yes.
tell your story, magnify it on social media, and begin to tell that story. The most excited time for a lot of people in their career is in this moment you're in now when you're waiting for your license. And a lot of agents, once they get their license, get really quiet because then they're waiting for their first sale. So they're concerned, right? That's that uncomfortable spot. Keep telling your story through all the different chapters of your career and magnify that, and that will attract people along the way.
And you're a photographer and we live in a visual environment, right? It's sort of like we all live on social.
Thank you.
Last question.
We got one more. Lady right up front.
$10.3 million closing.
Yes. Yes.
The other side of Junius.
I'm paying attention.
Oh, you're like, wait. Right over here, right over here.
If you could stand up, maybe.
Well, hi.
Hello.
Jida from Dubai. We're actually from Morocco, from the same country. My question is to you, Michael. What it takes to open a new country for you, and what the agent would benefit from that?
So, we start looking at the global footprint, that map that we saw earlier, and saying, how do we fill in that map that will be the benefit to all of you in the countries that we currently are in, and how we continue to grow the eXp global footprint. And so when we start looking, I'm sure we're asking about Morocco.
I'm asking about Saudi Arabia and Turkey.
Oh, okay. So
Specifically,
yes. There might be advanced conversations with some of those countries you just mentioned, and
Something in the next 3-5 months.
and so we do focus on. There's a few things that we look at. There's probably about 20 touch points that we look at. We look at what's the real estate market there, what's the competition there, how many agents are there, what's the average sales price, what's the GDP, what's the population, really truly building a business model, right? Because some people sort of like say, hey, are we going to open in Belize? And I'm like, no, there's 1,200 agents there. No, we're not opening it. And sort of like, this 1,200 is really sort of like a generous number. But if you start looking at a place like Turkey, where there's thousands of agents, right? And there's several brands. That to us is really intriguing.
And market to international investors.
100%, right? So we look at where that feeder markets are coming from and things like that. So I would say stay tuned is what I would say.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for your questions. We are bringing Vanessa back up and we'll be here the entire event. So come find us and ask any other questions. Thank you.